everybody, this is Emily from Pages in Ink, and today, if you can't tell by the title of the video, the lights on my bookshelf, and my Christmassy sweater, this video is going to be all about Christmas and books. And to top it off, I have a Santa hat. Granted, it's not Santa Red, but it is, you know, the tops. That was really lame, I am so sorry. College Santa hats aside, college football Santa hats aside, this tag was started by Sam at Novels and Nonsense, and if I look that way every once in a while, it's because that's where the questions are. So let's begin. The first question is based on anticipation, and it says, the Christmas excitement is real. What book releases are you most anticipating? So off the top of my head, I can only think of 3 that I actually am excited for and I know the titles of. The first one comes out in January. I already have it pre-ordered. I already got the bonus for pre-ordering it, and that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I am so excited. I've been able to read a couple of the chapters before published editing kind of thing. Because I'm part of her newsletter thing. I love Alexandra Bracken, I love her books, and I am so excited for Passenger. It looks so good. I'm so excited. Second book, I want to say it comes out in February, but I'm probably wrong, and that is Glass Sword, the second book to Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and I couldn't put down Red Queen. It was so good, and at the same time, really, really aggravating. If you've read it, I hope you understand what I mean. If you haven't read it, you should go read it, because it's fantastic. I did a book talk about it. It was actually, I think, my first book talk. It was either the first or the second one. And I went all out. I have a red background and a torn up sun on it, and I'm I just go read it. It's fantastic. Or go watch my video. I mean, it's totally up to you. Anyway, the last one I would hold up. I actually should have held up Red Queen, but it's up there and I didn't feel like getting up and getting it. Is the 4th and I believe final book in the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. And I would show Blue Lily Lily Blue, but I don't have my brother has it, he's reading it. So the cover was recently released and I flipped out because it's beautiful. I showed my brother, he's like, why is it a deer? I really don't know, but it's beautiful. It's got ravens in it, so we're good, but yeah. So second question is Christmas songs and carols. What book or author can you not help but sing its praises? So I picked an author. I only have 4 of her books right now, but like I said, I'm excited for one of her next books comes out in January, and that is Alexandra Bracken, the author of the Darkest Mind series and soon to be Passenger series. I think it's the Passenger series. I really, really, really love her books. The Darkest Minds got me back into reading after, I don't really want to call it a reading slump, but it was definitely a break in my YA reading. And after I finished it, I immediately barreled into Never Fade, not really knowing what was in store for me. I still haven't read In the Afterlight or her novella collection. I've read 2 of these. There's one in here that I haven't read yet. But I haven't read this, and I haven't read In the Afterlight, which is at the bottom here. But I have them. They're on my TBR. I will get to them ASAP because, like I said, one of my favorite authors. And again, so excited for Passenger. Third question, Gingerbread Houses. What book or series has wonderful world building? So for this one, I was between 2. It was between Leigh Bardugo's The Grisha trilogy and technically also Six of Crows because it's in the same Grisha-verse. But I went with Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And also, I guess, A Court of Thorns and Roses is actually pretty fantastic, in my opinion, for world building. But I picked this one because, I don't know, I guess it was the first like fantasy book I read in a long time, and I really enjoyed the world and like how there's a religion, there's like a Christmas, there's different gods, there's like all this stuff. So it's, I don't know if that's considered part of the world building, but it's got its own religion. Of course, it's got unique geography that you don't really see. Some of the geography is actually described in the books, and most of it is beautiful. In the novella collection, she actually travels to more than she does in the actual like series, but that's also really well done. So I really feel like Throne of Glass has awesome world building. Okay, so 4. A Christmas Carol. Favorite classic or one that you want to read? I am not a classic book reader. I do not read very many or really any at all. I've tried my hand at a few. I've tried to read Scarlet Letter for school. I've tried to read, I don't know if that's considered a classic, but I thought it was. Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Didn't get very far into that one either. If Of Mice and Men is considered a classic, that is pretty much the only classic that I've been able to read. But one classic that I do want to read, that I've tried, actually 2 classics I will say, that I've been wanting to read and I've been trying to get to but haven't really got there, and that's Wuthering Heights, I believe by Emily Bront, and Pride and Prejudice, I believe that's by Jane Eyre's by Charlotte Bront. Or is it the same? Anyway, Pride and Prejudice and Wuthering Heights. So 5, Christmas sweets. What book would you love to receive for Christmas? So this year, I think I have significantly less books than I had on my list last year, but at the same time, I think maybe it's enough because I did ask for a box set of one of them, and that is the Legend series. I read the Legend series, didn't fall in love with it until Champion, and I've been craving to reread it lately, so hopefully I can get that on my bookshelf. I also have A Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Adhee, which I read recently and loved, and I don't usually put series on my shelf that I've read recently because I'm going to want to read my Christmas books, in January, but the fact that I loved it so much, I'm like, I'll just put it on there. I also have The Fifth Wave because it's going to be has been made into a movie, which I want to go see. I don't know if it's going to do the book justice because sometimes they just don't. But I do want to read the book, not necessarily because it's going to be turned into a movie, because I've been wanting to read it since I saw that it was popular, and a lot of people talked about it. So I was like, I want to check this out. I'm not a very big alien sci-fi person, but it looked really interesting, so I decided I would put it on my list. I also have Stitching Snow and Spinning Starlight by R.C. Lewis, because I read Stitching Snow and loved it so much. I loved it. So I have Stitching Snow from the library. Not Stitching Snow, Spinning Starlight. That's over there. So I'll be getting to that at some point in time. See, I actually have my list open. So Stitching Snow, I have Ice Like Fire, which I could technically buy myself, but I just have a lot going on at the moment, so I'm asking it for Christmas. Maybe my mom will make it a tradition and get me Ice Like Fire, because last year she got me Snow Like Ashes for Christmas. So there you go. I have Silver in the Blood by Jessica Day George. I was at the bookstore looking for a present for my cousin for her birthday, and I saw the Silver in the Blood, like the outside, and I was like, that looks kind of interesting. I pulled it out, and I'm like, that looks really pretty. I read the synopsis, I'm like, this looks really good, so I put it on there. I also have the last one that I haven't already mentioned, The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I've only read, if you count her graphic novel, I've only read 3. One of them has only hit home for me, and that is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. I love vampire stories. Twilight was okay in my opinion. One of my favorite series of all time is Vladimir Todd. I have The Immortal Rules on here. I had Temptation by R.L. Stine around the Halloween time. I didn't get to it and ended up returning it to the library before I read it. But, you know, I picked it up because it's a vampire book. I have Vampire Kisses. I think it's all the vampires I have. I didn't like House of Night, but that's for plot reasons, not because they're vampires. But yeah, so that is my Christmas list for books. I also have quite a bit of other stuff. I'm a really weird person. Like, I can make a list of all the stuff I want, but if I like generalize it, I'm probably going to be happy with whatever you get me. Yeah, so, let's see, where am I? 6! Candles in the Window. What book gives you, that warm, fuzzy feeling? Okay, I was looking at my bookshelf, and I realized I do not have very many happy, nice books at all. largely upsetting, and like dangerous and sad. So a lot of dystopians. I have a lot of just not good ones. So I thought about pulling down my Beauty and the Beast retellings because I love Beauty and the Beast. It's my favorite fairy tale. But since both of those books, like that fairy tale is based on the fact that she's pretty much kidnapped. I mean, and I have Beastly and I have A Court of Thorns and Roses. In a way she's not, because you know, he didn't like take her, well, in A Court of Thorns and Roses he does. Anyway, so it's not a good concept that's all happy, warm, and fuzzy. So I went over that, and every time I thought, oh, I can do this, I always came back to The Chronicles of Vladimir Todd by Zachary Brewer, or Heather Brewer as he was once known as. And again, it's not even down here, it's on the side. Actually some of that. But if you ever watched any of my videos, this is one of my favorite books of all time ever. Like, the series is one of my favorite series of all time ever. Like, it's my Harry Potter, I guess. You know, this is obviously well loved, except this wasn't me. I'm really mad at my brother for that, but, so, it's just, it means a lot to me, so it's warm and fuzzy, I guess, in my opinion. So moving on. 7. Christmas trees and decorations. Which are some of your favorite book covers? So I like looked all over my shelf and I'm like, what are the prettiest covers? One of them, like I said earlier, I don't have, and that's Blue Lily Blue. My brother has it. I also have, and I actually forgot to grab it, but I love Red Queen. It's up there. I'm not gonna get it. Winter by Marissa Meyer. The End of Days by Susan E. I love like the gold and then the feathers. That's what I love about it. I'm gonna set that there. Whenever I saw this cover, I was like, that is probably the best cover I've ever seen in my life because it's gorgeous, and that is Smell Like Ashes. I also really like Ice Like Fire, but I don't have it, so this is all you get. And the final one that I had picked up off my shelf, because she just looks so confident and powerful, and it's also really shiny. Like, who could dislike this cover? Although they have new covers and they're equally pretty, but I don't have any of those. And I'm not the kind of person that wants multiple copies of a book series. You know, if I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. Although I would trade in a heartbeat. If anybody wants to give them to me, I'll give you mine. I want the white Twilight covers that I think are from the UK, and also the white Throne of Glass covers that I think are from the UK. So, because they're much prettier than the ones I have. So, there's one more question that doesn't really have to do with books, and it's Christmas joy. What are some of your favorite things about Christmas, and or some of your favorite Christmas memories? The thing I like about Christmas, and that's why I just decided to Christmas it out, especially on my bookshelf, there's like little tiny ornament balls hanging around, but I knocked my book pile over, it's a time of joy and a time of giving, and it's a time of family, and that can be really difficult for a lot of people, but at the same time, your blood family doesn't always have to be your family. Your friends can be your family, your, like, community, like your LGBT group club thing, like, what do we call it in school? It was GSA. I don't know if it's different from, where you live, but it's Gay Straight Alliance. They can be your family for Christmas. So even if it's hard for you at Christmas time to have a family, your blood family doesn't have to be your family for Christmas. You have to spend time with them probably, but, you just think in your head, I'm just visiting. This isn't, yeah. Anyway, I'm not probably the best person to talk to about that because I am straight and I don't have that kind of problem. But I just don't want you guys to feel alone if you do. If you feel alone this Christmas, go ahead and send me a comment or follow me on Tumblr and send me messages and I will message you back, I guess, if you want. The other thing I like about Christmas is kind of has to do with family, and that is Christmas trees. Putting up or not Christmas trees, but like traditions. Ever since I was little, we would help put up the tree. We would like sort out all the little branches because we have a fake tree. We'd sort out all the branches. My parents would put them in the little peggy things. And it was all done. We would help put the ornaments on it and the lights and the tinsel. And at one point we'd go to my grandmother's house and we would bake Christmas cookies and decorate them. And lately she's also started to do gingerbread houses. Every year for Christmas Eve we go somewhere that's not my grandparents' house, and then Christmas Day we go to my grandparents' house and we, hang out and have Christmas dinner, and my cousins and I do really whatever, which is what we usually do, but it's just Christmas time is a time that's supposed to be happy. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just like the season is supposed to be one of giving. For a lot of people it's about getting, but to me it's all about giving. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you feel about Christmas or any of these books. I was not tagged to do this, but I saw this on Bibliophilic Witch's channel, Bethany, and I will tag the only other person I can, two people, the only two people that I can really tag, the Questionable Hufflepuff and Whisper of the Silent Winds on YouTube. Sasha, you guys, both of you, Sophia, go do it. Okay, bye! Merry Christmas.